question a lot with no. So you've heard that we have a new book coming out, and you're right. And it's called
Brass Ovaries.
Own Yours. And we get asked a lot, how in the world did you come up with that name outside of Lindy, who gave us the Brass Ovaries inspiration? But we originally, we taunted a lot about the name.
Yeah.
And originally we thought it was going to be
Earn Yours. Brass Ovaries, Earn Yours.
Yeah, and the more we talked about it, we realized that
You already have them.
yeah. So the book, the intention behind the book, there's lots of reasons, but it's to inspire you and to take charge of who you are and to own and believe in
What you already have.
Yeah.
Really to empower you and help you realize that it's not something we have to earn or prove to ourselves or anyone.
Right.
It's just owning it.
Yeah.
Just recognizing what you have, your strengths and all of that. And this book is really going to be raw, and we're going to let loose of blah, 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 blah.
The other part of the book is we talked about what is it that women do inherently that is different. We do a lot of things different than men, but we bring our heart to the table.
Yeah.
Sometimes too much,
Yeah.
and it gets in our way. But we also bring our brains to the table in a really different way, and we definitely bring our backbone. So it's different. We hope that you're excited and can't wait for Brass Ovaries Own Yours to come out.
Yeah. So we know there are a lot of self-help books already out there, but this one really does a little bit more. We've talked as a group and realized that a lot of the self-help books still have some type of ulterior motive or some type of agenda where they don't want to expose the real truth. So this book is going to be different.
Yeah, we intentionally said we're going to go into this, we're going to demask ourselves a little bit, we're going to tell some things that we haven't even said out loud before ourselves, and then we're going to take a lot of polls. Some of you have been engaged in the polls.
Yes, thank you.
And really understand and thread why we do what we do, because again, as women, we do things differently.
Yep.
And there's no reason why we can't talk about it and help one another. There's a Good Old Boys Network, which, hey, I'm not mad at them.
Right.
Why isn't there a Good Old Girls Network, and why don't we help one another?
Right. That's missing. And so this is talking about the need for that and what we've all learned individually. And we're interviewing some phenomenal women from across the country. So we're not only going to have our own stories unmasked here, but we're going to have these women that are going to share their stories as well.
Exactly. And it's women who run billion-dollar organizations to their own sole proprietorship and everything in between. So the perspective is going to be vast, and you're going to be shocked, maybe, with the fact that the sole proprietor and the woman sitting at the top of the organization have the same issues.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can find a way that this book is going to help and inspire and give you actual steps. At the end of each of the chapters, we have something called
Cleaning Out the Closet.
So we're going to give you some exercises, stories, thoughts, provoking, give you some backup resources, but we're also going to give you something to do. And you can start and stop the chapters any way that you want as well. We're intentionally running it that way.
So one of the things that I really wanted to point out here is that this book is alive. I say it's a movement and not just a book because we are going through life and learning lessons day by day that we're implementing into these chapters. So whether it's something we go through during the process of writing this book that we want to share, or it's something that another woman goes through and shares with one of us that we want to make sure we implement into here.
Yeah. No, I think that's an interesting point in that I've started listening differently too. I was with a couple of new clients today, co-owners, both women, and they were telling me background and story about how they got to where they are now. And I said to them, I was like, oh my gosh, that do you mind if I put that in the book? Because it was just all of a sudden, I was like, wow, that is really relevant.
And you want to share it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that really, just to touch on my why for writing the book, I wanted to get into this book because I know firsthand that trial and error is how we learn lessons in life, in business, in life, what have you. but the trial and then the error part really sucks.
Yeah.
And it's inevitable, and a lot of things we have to feel it to go through it, to learn it. But there are a lot of lessons that we can learn from others. And I've learned in business and in my professional career to really lean on the women that surround me, like Shelly and Jamie and others that are in my network, to gain from what they've already been through, so that I don't necessarily have to go through every error that comes through those trials myself. Some of them I can learn from what other people are going through, and some women don't have that. And so this book is also for those women that either don't have that network of those women to lean on, or they haven't built it yet, or they don't know where to start, or they don't know that it's okay to lean on other women. We do it.
Yes, absolutely. I've got, just like you do, lots of reasons to the why. And for those of you who know me, know I'm centered around this one word, connect, and then it means a whole lot to me. And I know with the first book, I sort of put it all out there. But now I'm pulling back and refining it, and what really does that mean? And there's also a great book out there called One Word, if you haven't read it, if you haven't. And so that's where I picked up for this year, the connect word, very intentionally. But I know that I came from family-owned business into a really large corporate structure with Marriott, and really lived in a box. So many of us go into this box and we think that's all we know, that's all that's out there. Our confidence or the lack thereof is drawn in from that. And as I came out of the mothership, love Marriott though, as I came out of that and came out of what I thought I only knew in hotels, and threw myself into the world in which I live today with all the networking and the different organizations, there's an entire world out there that I had no clue of as an executive in my safe little house and firm. And so going through this on your own, not realizing, not having the tutelage, and we want to help women who don't have that or think that there isn't any, whether you're starting over. So many people, she's still a young chick, I'm an old chick, and starting over is scary. And especially when you only know one thing, and to get out there. And it's good to have people who have been there, done that. Now granted, we really don't take on life's lessons unless we've experienced it ourselves, but we can be the little person on the shoulder, and when you're in it, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, they said that was going to happen.
Yeah, and I can say sometimes there are things that I hear and I go, okay, maybe I'm on the fence about something, and I hear from someone, if it's someone I respect and I have that trust there, and I still have to find my way through it, but it can help make that trip and that decision a little bit easier, or coax me over the edge and in the right direction. So
without so much pain.
Exactly. Anything we can do to make it a little bit easier, and it's not always about being easy, but it's also about, again, just learning, and we only have but so much life to live. So if we can kind of pull from the experience and the knowledge that these other people have, why not? Knowledge is power.
Exactly. And again, we believe this book is different because we've taken and pulled from the ideas of previous books, because we all three of us read books crazy. But pulling out the elements that we like. So we like the storytelling of real stories. We like the intimate conversations and the demasking of the authors. As well as giving the research behind it, so it's not just feelings, but it's actual facts as well. And then lessons and tips. So do something with it. There's nothing more frustrating than listening to a webinar, going to a conference, reading a book. You get all excited, and you're like,
I'm going to do it.
So we think that this book does that. It's different. So
helps you actually apply what you're hearing. So life-changing. It's a movement, not just a book. Get on it.
Movement.
It's a movement.
I like that. And by the way, the reason why the three authors is we all bring something different to the table. I mean, obviously we have our own businesses, but our perspectives from a generation are different. The trades in which we all come from are different, and our experiences in life so far are all different. And that's why we hope that you're going to be excited to hear three different perspectives that, again, actually have a lot of similarities and lineages. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you grew up.
This is going to speak to the introvert, the extrovert, the business owner, the partner, the wife and mother, all of you, all of us, because we all wear so many hats. So this is going to speak to all of us.
Yep, that's it. So we want to help you own what's already yours and we hope that you're excited when we are too. So look for an early release date so you can secure your copy, and we will have some book signings and events to draw you in as well. So look for some additional polls from us too, because we want you to be engaged. We're about halfway through the manuscript now and making great progress.
Yeah, we're going to give some sneak peeks on our Facebook page, so make sure you follow us there, Brass Ovaries, and we will see you soon.
All right.